Okay, welcome to your Wednesday check-in, or whatever day of the week that you're doing this, but this is what it is called. So thank you for joining. And let's just, get right into it. Placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your lower belly. And first off, let's just take a moment to settle into this space and consciously uh, invite all parts of us into this space. And if you don't know what I mean by parts, then connect with me and we can have a further discussion about this. But parts meaning when you naturally say there is a part of me that feels hurt, or there's a part of me that's angry, or there's a part of me that fill in the blanks. And I like to invite them into the space because sometimes they can feel rushed or they're not quite present. And so I like to just invite them in, let them know that this is the time that I'm going to be checking in with what's going on, what emotions are present, what indications I am aware of, and hopefully to have a deeper tune in by the end of the session. And so, closing your eyes, let's just begin by just noticing the breath and how deep is it? How shallow is it? Is it full and comfortable? Or is there some restriction? Now, I will apologize. I don't know if you can hear it, but there is some construction a little further away. And so just try to keep focusing inside. And throughout this whole process, we're going to be the observer, the self-observing what is going on inside our physical experience, our human experience. And so now let's turn that observation towards any physical sensations you might be feeling. And maybe there's something obvious, like something painful is bothering you. And let's just give that attention first. And you can just take note. I feel this, whatever it is, pain, vibration, sensation. Where do you feel it? What does it feel like? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? And if there's nothing really obvious, then I like to do a scan in my body. Just kind of check those usual places that might be holding tension. In my jaw, the base of my neck, my shoulders, my mid back, my hips or in my legs, my belly. And if you notice anything, just give it your attention. And notice if there's anything that is trying to pull your attention away. We're just noticing all of our little habits right now. Everything that's present. And let's move on to the emotions. What emotions are present either right now, or maybe it was something earlier in the day, and you didn't have time for it, which is totally fine. And now is a good time to go in and give it some attention. And as we tune into whatever emotion is present, and there might be the tendency to really try to blend with it, that it feels very, very present. And if something feels overwhelming, go ahead and begin tapping on the side of the hand. And just keep giving it your attention. I'm feeling this. And as you give it your attention, also state where you feel it in your body and what the sensation is like. And give it also a rating of intensity, 1 to 10. And this just helps us to keep connecting to it, which it might be our training to judge what we feel or suppress what we feel. Judge it as bad. But they're emotions. We're here to feel emotions as humans. And now let's tune our awareness to maybe any parts that might be present today, active or provoked. And maybe you're not exactly clear on what part it is, but we're just gonna, give it some sort of a descriptive word. This part of me. And sometimes when we're tuning into these parts, we're also aware that, the emotion I feel is part of this part. And so there's this part of me right now that is a little worried, and probably the root of this part, this part is worried that if it doesn't go well, if all the construction is too much of a distraction, that I won't be accepted. And this is just a part of me. And the self is observing this. And so sometimes there's a little dialogue that comes along as well. Like mine was just saying, I won't be accepted. What does your part want to say? And we're going to allow whatever it needs to say to be expressed. And it might poke other parts. This is something very common. When it says something, there might be a part of us that judges what is being said. And we're just going to put our awareness on that as well. And if any time this feels intense, you may stop the video. And you can also reach out and we can have a phone call, a video call about what's going on. And maybe I can help guide you towards a solution. And so let's go ahead and deepen our breath. I'm going to take 3 breaths, comfortably breathing in till you're comfortably full. Then we're going to take in a little bit more air without releasing, and then we'll release all of it. We're going to do that 3 times. So inhale till you're comfortably full. Pause at the top. Sip in a little bit more air. And release the air to the floor, out the mouth. Inhale till you're comfortably full. Pause. Sip in a little bit more air. And release the air out your mouth to the floor. Now this last one, let's inhale. Pause at the top. Sip in a little more air. Pause once again. Sip in a little bit more air. And release, maybe with a little bit of sound, maybe with some movement. Ooh. However you need to release that feels good. Bring yourself back to natural breathing. And bring your attention to the weight of your body sitting in your chair, on the floor, wherever you are. And feel the energy of gravity holding you in connection with this earth. And tell yourself, I am not going to float away. I am held to this planet. And this planet holds me. Now bring your attention to the air that surrounds you, that you are breathing in. Feel that air entering and exiting your body. Knowing you don't have to think about this process. You're automatically supported also by the air you breathe. bring your attention to the space above your head. Kind of look at it with your mind's eye. And what inhabits this space just might be higher intelligence. Everything that's created this life-supporting life on this planet also created you, also created other planets and stars and galaxies. And you're all linked to this incredible universe and this intelligent creation. And let's just take a moment to ask for guidance in whatever form, whether it's spirits or angels, source, ancestors, and ask the guidance to be of the highest intelligence. And let's humbly thank them for being present with us today as we move through this process. Bringing yourself back into your body by gently rubbing your fingers across your body. Take a deep breath, open your eyes, and let's begin. Tapping on the side of the hand. Turn the light on. There I am. Tapping on the side of the hand. And if you're a practitioner and you have your own words, go ahead and say them. But if you're new to this, even if it feels a little weird, go ahead and repeat what I am saying as we are talking to the subconscious mind. And sometimes we're retraining ourselves into different perspectives. I am taking this time to give myself loving attention because I love and accept myself just as I am. I am giving myself my physical body and my emotions loving attention because I choose to honor what I am feeling in this moment. I am giving loving attention to all these parts of me that are asking for my attention. And they may be asking for my attention through how I feel, physically and emotionally. or they may be running narratives in my head to try and get me to respond and help. And I may be trained to ignore, suppress, and judge these parts of me. And I'm choosing right here and now to be open to what they need to express right here and now. Because I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself and all these parts of me exactly as I am. Coming to the eyebrow point, I am giving loving attention to the things that I'm physically feeling in my body. Side of the eye, go ahead and say what those sensations are. And say it out loud. Under the eye. And say out loud the number on the scale of 1 to 10. How strong is it what you feel? Under the nose. And now give it a little bit of a more deeper description. Maybe what the sensation is like, where you feel it. On the chin. And there may be training in me to suppress or numb the things that I'm feeling in my body. Collarbones. But I'm open to the possibility that maybe I need to give these sensations my attention, my full attention. Under the arm. And that maybe these physical sensations carry messages, memories, or are indications from parts of me that feel uncomfortable. Top of the head. And I'm choosing to know that these physical sensations are part of this human experience. Back to the eyebrow, and I'm giving loving attention to these emotions that are present today. Side of the eye. Go ahead and say which emotions those are. Under the eye. Go ahead and say where you feel it in your body. And also say what it feels like in your body. under the nose, and just keep that connection going. Give it a rating, 1 to 10. How strongly do you feel it right now? And this number is subjective. You can't get it wrong. On the chin. And I may have been trained to judge my emotions as wrong. And I may try to avoid feeling them, which is very natural. Collarbones, and I'm opening to the possibility that these emotions contain messages and are indications from parts of me. Under the arms. And that they may be indicating with my emotions to get my attention. Top of the head. And I'm choosing to know that these emotions are part of the human experience. That maybe I chose to have. Back to the eyebrow, and I'm giving loving attention to these parts of me that may be triggered or active today. Side of the eye. Go ahead and say, in whatever way, what parts they may be, how you identify them. Under the eye, and maybe what emotion is connected to this part of you, or emotions. Under the nose, and maybe there's a phrase or a statement that wants to be said, expressed by this part. Go ahead and say it out loud right now. Chin. And I may have training that has taught me that these parts of me are bad. Collarbones. But I'm learning that my parts are all just trying to keep me safe. Keep me surviving on this human planet. And so I'm choosing to give these parts of me my loving attention instead of maybe ignoring them like I used to. Top of the head, and I choose to know that these parts of me are a part of being human. which is what I came here to do. Close your eyes and bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in and release the breath. And now is a moment to just sit and listen for any messages or needs. Or maybe you're beginning to connect with the heart in a visual way. These are all really good things. Go ahead and press pause if you need some time. And if you are experiencing a memory coming up or a message, go right back into tapping and do one more round. And just talk about what it is that is running. Riff on it a little bit. And you can go through all the points, just riff it, doesn't have to follow any recipe. And by doing this, you're keeping your body in a grounded place, letting your body know, stimulating energetic lines, keeping the thing moving. Now, especially if it's a memory that's charged up with emotion, say, and this emotion is present in this memory, I can feel it now, and I can feel it in this part of my body. But if it's something that truly is intense, look towards guidance, whether it's with a therapist, depending on the strength of the intensity and like how much it takes you away. And sometimes all you need is a guide like myself to help guide you into these memories, because maybe you're like me. Like I didn't want to just talk about what was going on inside of me. I wanted to actually transform these memories and resolve these things inside of me. And through tapping and other somatic medium work, movement, breath, all sorts of techniques that we use in sessions with hitting, energizing, and I can't list them all off at this moment, but all of these really help you to get into and connect with these parts on a really deep level, where they actually then begin to trust you and trust that you're going to show up for them, and because it's of no fault, that I think about how I abandoned myself throughout my life, and I was just trained to do that. My emotions were too much for the adults in my life when I was a child. And so they tried to shame them out of me, but all it did was fill me full of shame for having emotions. And these parts went left unexpressed, unsafe, disconnected from me. And I developed other parts that then, took on the voices of the adults that were criticizing, bad part. But now I know there are no bad parts. And as we go into this work, you'll begin to get to know like what's a part of you, what's a voice that's been adopted, by you to try to keep you safe. What is the self, the conscious aware self? And if any of this or all of this interests you, please connect with me, send me a message. You can also head over to my website at waveenergytapping.com, and you can sign up for a connection call there. And we can connect on a Zoom call, about half hour, 40 minutes, and just kind of get to know each other and see if this is a possible route for you in order to uncover and heal yourself. There's nothing I'm doing that's healing people. The only thing I do is guide people towards their intuition. Guide people when they're stuck in the mixed up mental game that's happening, and help them to refocus their attention. And this has served me so well in my life, and only wish I had done it sooner. But it took just the time that it needed to take, apparently. And here I am now, able to help people really connect to themselves in deep, loving ways, just as I learned how to do after a lifetime of believing, all of these damning voices in my head. And I know they can take you to some really dark places, and they might be, places that you're like, I don't want to go there. And with tapping, you don't have to go there. All we're doing is bringing in a regulating technique that really works. And it works to calm down the chaos first. And then you might be like, okay, I'm ready. Help guide me. Hold my hand, metaphorically, as we go into some memories or some places, that you might avoid going. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next Wednesday.